really the issue, the pandemic things that we're looking at is right now is the COVID, right? But the real thing that we don't see, most people don't see, is the issue with tech neck. How many people are using the small electronic, like the camera, the computers, and everything is involving with our head moving forward, our shoulder rounding out, and we're becoming weaker. We become like drones, right? And if you look at from the side view, when you tilt your head like this, your head
forward head posture, head tilt,
and your weight of the head
Absolutely.
when you're tilting forward is 5-10 times more because it's a level arm. You have to tilt it, and it creates so much stress and strain around the neck. And the thing that hurt me the most are the children. My children, I got 3. I mean, everybody out there have families, have children. If you're exposed to them at so young of an age and they don't know how to hold the phone or electronic the proper way,
absolutely.
this is how they're going to grow up with their shoulders.
Our kids are sensitive. If I go up and press my son's shoulder, he's like, ow. I'm like, son, you're 10 years old. We cannot have ow on your traps right now. Like, if I can just, because I'm a therapist, right? So that's the cool part about the doctor side versus the therapist side. Because when you say forward head posture, all I think of is, the fulcrum from gravity, from like a muscle standpoint. You're like an internal standpoint of like surgery-wise, and I'm like the external, like skeletal-wise. So I'm like, okay, I can tell you exactly why you come from the medical downward hump forward head posture because of gravity, right? Like the pressure, your head is heavy, right? So if you drop your head, it'll fall.
Yeah.
But we use muscles to lift it up, right?
But if you stand
exactly, if you go forward, it's still pushing down. So the pressure, the downward hump, creates tissue and pressure. Yeah. It's the same thing with a callus. Yeah. Same exact thing. That's why your body creates a callus. It's because it's trying to protect the joint.
If we have the correct posture,
absolutely. That's why we're sitting at the end right now, and we're not sitting here.
That's right. And this is what people do.
Can you imagine if we were doing this?
Man, in and out.
This gotta look horrible on the camera.
Well, just think about our emotion.
This gotta look horrible.
This is the closing up, the fetal position.
Yeah, like my back.
Yeah. And people think this is comfortable. And they say, oh, this is so comfortable. Yeah, it's comfortable for a minute.
For me, I if you want to drop my head back. Like I don't like this angle because I'm at it like this angle, so like it's making me hold it like this. So my head wants to just come backwards like this. That's relaxed.
Right.
But people aren't doing that. They're doing this. So they're shortening the SCM. Yeah. Right, chronically shortening the SCM. So when they wake up and they stretch out, it's pulling here, chest pump. Yeah, no,
Well, I watch your video teaching people about like the web, how you stretch out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what people need to do.
Absolutely.
But how many people are actually doing it?
We have to just try to repattern like through like consistency. That's all. Consistency. Doing this with each other. Like a doctor coming together with a therapist they're like, oh wow, because remember before, people like us were not teaming up.
No,
absolutely not. Because I took money away from you because I was trying to get people healthy free. You were taking money away from me by getting people healthy from like thinking they weren't in pain. So we were clashing. Now that we're together, it's good. It should be an amazing trifecta.
Here's a really interesting part of my journey. I started out working as a pharmacist, giving people pills.
I remember. I still have those socks. I think that you gave me when we first met a couple years ago. Yeah,
that's right. I told
We've
you
been knowing
about
each other for years.
Getting rid of those pills, those injections, because our body's so strong that if you don't utilize our body first, we're gonna fail, and we're gonna be the victim. You can choose to be a victim, or you can be the person that makes a difference for your own body. And so I started out as a pharmacist, giving them the pill. Now, I don't want to get the wrong impression. Get people to have a wrong impression that we don't need any medication for it, because there are times when you actually need the medication. If you're in pain, you got a broken bone.
I broke my femur. Absolutely.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna say no to drug? Of course you're gonna say.
But continually after you need it is the discipline that we're
for something that is acute. For a short period of time, we need help. Just like you got a broken arm, you wear a sling until it's healed, and then you move on. You're gonna strengthen it. But that's a mistake. People get on the pill and they stay on the pill.
Absolutely.
So that part of my journey is like, okay, I now understand the pill, but also I understand the side effects of the narcotic medication. People get addicted to it. Mm-hmm. Medication for high blood pressure, medication for anxiety. Guess what? If you go outside and train our body, to strengthen our body, and to exercise, you don't need those medications. You won't be anxious if you get nature therapy. People have anxiety because they're closed in their houses, in their room, and they're locked up. in the virtual reality in the computer.
Yeah, the mind's a scary place. What's crazy is my philosophy on anxiety is when you have the thought that creates the anxiety to give you the energy, you have to go execute it. And people don't. They mask it. They take medication. They make excuses.
Worse. Same thing. If you have, you feel that you have to get that energy. You're angry at somebody. Well, if you're holding it in, it's becoming poison. That's killing us, right? But if you go out to a boxing, like punching bag.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's how nature. That's how we heal ourselves, right? You have frustration, anger. We get it out, but do it in a safe way where you don't get killed. You go out there, you punch somebody. Guess what? They're gonna punch you back.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's awesome that we align in what we do. What I see also though is a reality. When we tell people stop using electronic, even us, we say we cannot stop using a small electronic because that's part of our life.
Yep. So
how are we gonna handle the tech issues? And this is where we're going to have a discussion of what are the things that we can do to help them. Now, in terms of exercise-wise, you have it down. You have it down pat. All the things that they can do. On my perspective is, what's the shortest way for them to get there? Yeah, they can do an hour exercise, but if we are able to give them a small tool,
absolutely,
that we can get them there in maybe in 15 minutes. Well, that they would do it. But if we tell them you're going to do this for an hour. Most of them say, man, I don't have an hour to
Absolutely.
Even though they should.
There's two things that I would say immediately. If you're sitting on the back, if you have one of these, that's the only reason why I would tell someone to sit all the way back in this chair to apply pressure.
Yeah.
Immediately, if you do not have this and you still want to have an immediate fix, or not a quick, nothing, we're not wizards, right? Everything's consistency, but you got to do what we do. You got to start getting away from that chair.
Yeah.
Because that will allow you to automatically engage. Most people won't get to the end and do this. They just won't. But they'll get to the end of the chair and do this. But that's the same thing. If I freeze my body and I move forward, that's what that is. Most people don't sit here. They'll do that. They'll put their hand down. They'll put their arm down. So you're already more at a straighter angle. So just, if you have this, I would say this is the reason why you get to go back. If not, I would already to start, like if you don't have your hands on this, you already have to understand that the pressure of like there's like a brace right here on the couch, you see? Mm-hmm. That's the objective, to sit down. That goes straight down your spine, right down your neck, back of your head, right straight down your spine, right through your tailbone, right into the ground. Here we're able to mush. Right? And you can contract. And remember, a lot of it's anterior and posterior pelvic tilt. So here we're tilting. If we tilt it this way, now we're here, right? We're flexed. You tilt this way, so that's what people do. They just round here. If you're here, you're not really gonna sit like this.
Yeah.
So what you do is all you do is tilt.
Now when we're down to the edge, we're activating our core.
Absolutely. This is how I've sat on this is how I sit. That's into my bed because I sit right there.
And that's why it's great that we're together, because we have different perspective, showing people different perspective. Now, the reason why we have these tools are for people that already have back pain. I want to have some relief.
Because half the world is sitting in a chair like this right now.
Yeah, and I want some relief of that back pain before I get out and start doing the exercises. So here, the spinal erector, they're soft. Yeah, decent size, and you can lean it against your chair.
It's a workout also.
So it's a 3-in-1. Basically, it's an exercise you can strengthen, stretch, and massage. So when you're leaning back into a harder surface, you can actually putting up pressure on your spinal erector muscles.
Yeah, that's important. So you know what makes me think is when they started changing the foam rollers. Because remember, the foam rollers used to be completely solid and hard. Yeah. And then they started putting the ripples, and they started putting the dents, and they started putting the spine area.
It's so soft now that it really do much.
I've been doing this for a decade, so I've seen it. Oh man, I've seen a lot of different ways that they're trying to. To make it. It's just trying to make it easier for us. That's all. A lot of people are doing a lot of things that it's almost like not controllable. They have to figure out a way to do something to keep their body.
For me, there's stages that people have to go through. If they're in pain right now, and you say, "Oh, go out and exercise," they're like, "I'm in pain. How am I able to do that?" So for me, as a doctor, the first stage is alleviate their pain. And then you motivate them to strengthen the body.
Absolutely.
So, you know, really the goal is, what are the tools, these tools to help you, right?
I got triggers all over the place.
Work it out, bro.
I'm a therapist. There's like 16 triggers in your chest, and any one of these you can smack at any moment, and you can feel it all the way. So when people are like, "Oh, I got pain under my scapula," oh, that be coming from your chest. There's points reference points that go through. Most people don't know your pain is not always direct to the area.
The spot of the pain.
Absolutely.
Just like you have a tightness in the neck here, right? And this is for runners. And they're thinking, oh, you know, this cannot be related to my running. Well, guess what? If your posture is poor, you're putting strain, you know, it creating stress, pressure in your neck. And you're running like that for 2 hours. My God, what's it going to do to your body?
I say for runners, I would say it's tibialis anterior is the number one most used. Because I noticed when you were sitting over there already, I noticed that your feet remember, tibialis anterior goes over and here, so it pulls.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and then this is your run. This is when you every time you pick your foot up when you run.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why look, my feet, they're I don't run. I broke my femur. I got a knee replacement. I'm not running. I haven't ran since the Spartan race in 2000. And I don't run. I ain't running from nothing. I'm good. You know, but you run. Yep. And you can totally tell that your tibialis anterior is totally pulling this.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I would say this would be good for, to put your foot on that bad boy right there. But you do have,
I do.
You have the high heel.
You know
that one is good with the block you could put in the freezer.
Yeah,
that block you could put in the freezer.
My wife is a chiropractor. She put that and massage the neck too, not just the foot.
No, that's a good one. That's actually the first calf stretcher thing that I've ever. I think that was the first one ever. Like I don't think there was ever. You used to just go up to the wall and put your foot.
Yeah, but people do it wrong.
Absolutely,
you know,
it's because the angle. It's because the angle.
It has two semi-soft balls that can be adjusted. You can move it at any distance. So around the neck, you can bring it in. You can really rolling it around the neck.
Yeah.
Right around this area, and around the back, you can get. So my goal is number one to alleviate them of pain, that then empower them to take the next step, which is to train to strengthen their own body.
Yeah.
So the next thing that we can do. So with these balls, you can really massage any area.
Yeah,
of your body,
absolutely.
Right?
I love the dimples on it. It's just a little bit.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a little kneading in the roll.
Yeah, yeah. And then the second thing that we can use this for is stretching. Remember, I saw you doing the
absolutely
the spider web.
I didn't think of that.
Out. So really, you know, this is stretching. Well, this is stretching with a little oomph to it.
Yeah.
And if you want to, you know, to your strength, whatever you're capable, or you know, you can shorten it. Guess what? This is even going to be a little tougher. So this is strengthening while you're stretching as well. Okay,
I mean, so that's where we're getting simpler,
for range of motion,
quicker, faster.
For range of motion, you know, people can put these things up, and this is, I'm not sure if the camera can capture the whole thing. You can move all around the body.
That's what I would do with it. I would go all forward and all the way back.
Without trying to bend the elbow.
Yeah, because most of the time that bar doesn't allow people. They have really tight forearms, so they have to uncurl their pinky from the bar. When they go backwards, they have to uncurl.
That's right. So this, you can grab it, and you can move it anywhere you want. And really,
and you run a lot, so for you, it's something that you can take that anywhere. You can take that anywhere. It's so small.
This is my favorite tool for traveling on the airplane. I put this and I lock it in like this on the airplane chair, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Right? And we lock it in. And
wait, so that's a locking. That's a locking system.
Yeah, it's a locking system. You put that on the chair. Oops. And you lean back and you get a nice massage in your neck.
That's what happens when you're a doctor. You just get. I don't know. We're working on the airport manual, so that might go inside there.
There you go. Hey,
we got the airport manual coming out.
So this is sitting in the chair. You can massage the whole back while you're getting an airplane ride or a bus ride or a car ride. So that's the purpose of the massage part.
My best friend's an 18-wheeler driver. That's
money.
Oh
my God.
That's money. Oh yeah. No. That's
So if you think about tech neck, right? The muscle that holding us back this way, like opening us up, they're so weak because this is
lock short, weak.
But if we do the stretching exercise,
absolutely.
This is reversing the technique.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like chin tuck. Most people like this.
Yeah. Forward head posture is crazy.
Yeah. So first you got to think about moving our chin backward, rolling our shoulder back, and strengthen the muscle that hold our back.
They have a re-pattern exercise to like stack your head on your spine is when you do this, and then once you go backwards, you lift up and you come back and see how I'm not touching now?
Yeah, you see the difference?
Yeah, so that's the difference. So most people are just, they're here. So like, that's how you do it. You do it where it's touching and you put your head back, you lift, go tall on your spine and come back forward. And you're like at almost a half an inch to an inch above what you were starting. Because most people, they're not lengthening, they're shortening. Like my sleep manual, I actually created a new move last night because I went to sleep and it was a little cold, right? And I was like, I was laying down, I was like, all right, but let me see. So I'm this short. If I write this, if I draw what I look like, and then I went like this, and I lengthened my legs as long as I could, and I lengthened my arms as all I could, and I said, okay, now let's default, go back to what I was doing, and all of a sudden I did it slow, and all of a sudden my body just goes.
Yeah, that's the tendency, right?
Like it just does this, and I'm like, because I'm like stretching, and I'm like, all right, let me just relax though, and all of a sudden my body just. And I'm like, oh damn! Like people don't understand. Like they have shrunk. Like we're shrunk.
And that's like, what we do.
Sadness. The COVID right now. Yeah, people are sad. They're cold. Yeah, that's why that spider web thing lengthening is so important.
Here's a funny thing. It's a side note. You know, I see you sleep out above your sheets, right? Your blanket. Yeah. And you know, I do the same thing. It's always being a little bit uncomfortable. That challenges make us strong. But most people like to be comfortable, and we all do, right?
Yeah.
That's why we try to do things for better for us, so we stay warm. But if we stay a little bit uncomfortable, it will always help us to get us stronger. For me, the biggest thing that I wanted to get my customers out there is think of the power of 1%. If you're working on 1% per week, right? Whatever it is that you're working on, in a year, you can strengthen by 50% or more.
Yeah.
And you don't get hurt in the process. And your body don't even know the difference. So it's going along with it. Now, same thing with dieting and everything. If you're going to change your diet, you're going to change the way of doing exercise, and you change it 20%, your body the next day is, oh my God, that hurt. I don't know if I want to do that anymore. But you change it 1%, your body don't even know it. Making it a habit. What we talk about, creating habits. That is helping us lifelong. So I think we really align on that aspect, and I think this allows us to work together from the perspective of a massage therapist. You know our body.
Yeah, I'm joint, ligament, tendon.
You know, this is amazing with my massage therapist. When I walked into the massage room, they know the different area I'm tight, and they know where to go, even without me saying anything.
Absolutely. Like, I looked at your legs and I could tell, and I know you're a runner, so it's like, man, there's certain things where it's like, this is locked chronically tight, this is locked weak, because the majority of the time, like if I were to have you squeeze this ball, that would be the exercise that I would say for a runner. Put this ball between your knees and squeeze that.
Yeah.
Within you, if I tell you to squeeze it hard, you will already feel it that fast. But if I told you, push my hand out, that's nothing.
Yeah,
but
nothing.
you already felt it there. Like, how's that impossible? Like that means you're imbalanced.
Right. And that's what runners. We need to listen to
Travis. Medial thigh.
Yeah, and that's what the others exercises.
So it's locked long weak,
so
locked tight
show
short.
You the exercises.
Yeah, you definitely
for that the clamshell, right, and with resistance. So this is where it will make the difference, right? So you do it now. You're turning it out, but
you want the good news or the bad news?
What?
This is the position that runners do every single day. So my philosophy is this is not what you're going to do. The runner is going to squeeze your medial thigh. That's what you don't do. You said 1%.
Yeah, that's true.
So you're doing 100% on this outside.
Yeah.
You're not doing one squeeze? No, that's the new squeeze. And it's your heels are not out, your feet are out, and your toes are in.
Yeah.
Because this is chronically tight locked. So you, as a runner, by default, like if I were to train a runner and say, yo, what's the position to make you the strongest you've ever been in the next year? Your toes are going in. Like even when you're standing in line, you're not standing like this anymore. You're standing like this. I don't care how you look. That's how you're standing. You're chronically.
That's why the IT band, all the runners.
Always. So yeah, so that's another reason. So imagine me being on the internet, knowing that everybody, so walking motion, running motion, jumping motion, squatting motion, lifting motion is all that same muscle. And now I have to look at the internet and watch people doing this. Oh, I'm like, oh my God, the back problems that I'm looking at is it's just like you don't just get to remember the spider web. If you poke one side, it all draws that way.
Yeah.
So it's like, the 1% of you strengthening. So remember, it's all for massage. It's something's locked long, weak, or locked short, weak, because it's overused. You can only overuse something before it breaks.
That's what running is.
Yeah,
repetitive motion all the time.
So the way to switch that is to remember it's all about the channel of the gait. Your gait.
See,
the reason why you get injured is because the gait changes to tightness. So that's why you accidentally step on that rock that your brain was supposed to go around, but your foot was a little bit to the left because of tightness, not because you don't know how to run. You've been running for a long time. So subconsciously, you know what I'm talking about when you're running, you see a pine cone, you know not to step on the pine cone.
Yeah.
But if you looked at where the pine cone was, I bet you it's very close to your foot. But you don't look at it because you're running.
Yeah.
But you're that good at knowing where your body's at because you've been running. Same thing with the balance. I can already look at something and say I can do it or I cannot do it. Same thing when you get to a trail now, you're probably like, yep, too far. Up, got to train for that. Up 10 miles. Yep, I can do that tomorrow. Like
we know. We look at the trail. We know. Even with the elevation.
So
I can do it.
The way to not go to the injury stage, like athletes. Do you think a pro athlete? It's the same thing with a pro athlete. Do you think the trainer is strengthening the muscle to be bigger, or strengthening the opposite muscle to balance it? What do you think? Like they're doing the same.
The good trainer would be teaching them how to overcome.
This year we've had more injuries in sports players than any year. You know why? Because of COVID. They're not being trained. They are uneducated. They're trying to train themselves, and they're getting back on the court thinking they can do the same thing. And so the way to keep the gait straight out laterally is to strengthen this, and it just turns your leg in. Like if you did 4 or 5 exercises with that ball and stood up, you would feel so tall.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Work on that. That's the biggest thing for like men that go to the gym. They never touch that machine, right?
I know, because it's painful to do.
But guess what though?
Hard to do.
No, but anything other than nothing is something. So you could do it with no weight. So you can't say that's not painful. That's a mindset.
Yeah.
Because when I have a knee replacement and I broke my femur. So guess what? The 2 things got super weak on my body were medial thigh. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. The minute I go in the gym and I decide, I'm gonna sit down and do that, and I get off, my legs are so straight. My legs are so straight. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot not do this. Like I can't do the opposite every single day and expect me to get better. It just won't work. That's not how the body works and the mind.
And I think that's our goal, is for everyone to recognize what they need to do, what their weaknesses are.
You got to dig internally. It's not that big of a deal. You just have to say this is actually it. Like you said, 1% of it's not your whole life. You don't have to redo your whole life the next day. But if there's one little thing, absolutely. And for runners, it's medial thigh.
Yeah,
that's what's the least worked on.
For me though, a lot of people have pain because of that. So it's so tight. We need to loosen it up first. So this is another tool. So you got to loosen it up, and then we'll get them to get that mobility, and then strengthening the adductor. I guess that's what we got to focus on.
Absolutely,
working on them. Okay. So this is the tool that right now we're going to shift subject, and we're going to try to figure out how can we help. These gamers, they love games. I game too.
Game is serious, yeah.
But how do we get them to do it without hurting themselves? So obviously to sit right is important. How to get them loosen up, how to work on, you can be playing game for an hour, whatever, get on a tournament or doing a game for an hour. And how about 5 minutes doing this?
Yeah, in between the kills or in between, because there is a little part where the kids can, for sure, do
and then
something.
Do range of motion.
Hey, my son, I have my son jumping around up in here.
Yeah. See, he'll have fun with it.
5 push-ups every kill. Yeah, absolutely. My son will absolutely have fun with this.
So this is like one of the tools that I think gamers, they need to have a tool like this.
They need something on their chairs.
Them reverses the issue or the problem they're having all the time. Now, how many gamers that have issue with muscle tightness? They have to go to a massage therapist.
Yeah, they're shorting their psoas. By sitting, the psoas muscle, people don't even realize
muscle,
that. Yeah, they don't.
It's fixed in the same position, 90 degrees.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Like if for example, to see how tight your hips are, just put one leg over the other leg, and you'll already notice that one will be. One will already be like I broke this femur. We're loose. The leg I use every day. If I let go, it's gone.
Yeah,
that's how tight this hip is.
And even with you've been working on it.
Yes.
And imagine
me,
people that don't work on it.
I can only imagine.
Yeah,
trust me. That's why when I talk to everybody, there's no way they're going to convince me that they do enough therapy on their body versus what they do every day. Not happening. If they're not doing it in the proper posture, you're definitely going backwards. Yeah. Like people who lift boxes. I have a consultation where I will meet you at your job for $40, and I will give you a 1-page write-up and evaluate your employees on what they're doing wrong with their body. And I tell the boss, hey, you want your employees to be happy? You want them to be paying for you after you leave? Let me tell you what you need to help them do, because they're picking up boxes all day in a warehouse and they're using their back, not their legs. Something like that, like an Amazon warehouse. Like, yeah, I know it's going all automated now, but there's people still in there packing boxes the wrong way, lifting heavy things the wrong way, and it's like, does the boss care? I don't know.
Well, they want longevity of their company.
We hope.
You want efficiency. Yeah. Well, that's why we're out here. We're trying to figure out ways that we can help people to make this a better world out there for everyone. And I think we have to get our word out to the right audience, to the people that are ready to receive the information. We're going to be talking to the half that's ready, that's listening, that want to do something to their body that will help the body get stronger, to be more resilient, to handle anything that the world throws at them. Pandemic, whatever it is that we can handle.
Because we do know that chairs are like one of the #1 selling things right now. So how can we put people in positions that they don't understand and just close our eyes? Like, that's not who we are. Uh-huh. So the fact that you made something for a chair, like my brother just got his kid a gaming chair for Christmas, and it's like, yeah, but they're from a therapy side and the doctor side, we know that they're going to be all on this chair, and there's not even a way for them to even try. There could be one gamer that says, man, my back hurts, but if you gave him, like my son, if he says his back hurts and he's going to use it. My son's that person that he's not just going to say it hurts and he's not going to use it.
He's ready.
So so there's, I expect nothing less from my son. He's ready, but the parents of having to say, do you want to do this? No, because we are all our own people, and there's kids out there that don't want to be in pain. Even if you don't have to ask them, do you want to be in pain, little Johnny? They don't have to tell you or don't even want to. But if there's a way that you did something and you were like, oh, I'm not in pain anymore, little Johnny might go over there and grab that thing because his back hurts and roll on it. Like, just like, kids do what you do, not what you say. That's another thing, the reason why my son is ready. He sees me rehabbing. Like, he sees me doing the splits when I'm on my phone. Like, that's another thing. Like, conscious awareness of what you're doing. So a lot of people can't get away from sitting right now because of the pandemic. They're making money. So what can you do? You could put something, like you could roll your feet on this.
That's really the transparency of this.
Yes.
Right? This is not what we're teaching people to do, and then we go off screen and we don't do it. This is what we live our life that way. That's how people, follow. But people just like, oh, I want to push something out, I want to do it, and off screen they don't do it. Well, what's the point? Are you making a difference? No, because you're not being true to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what
for gamers, my son's hands. So all I think of is it's holding the controller.
Yeah.
So he holds the controller. So first, I already see you being able to. That already feels good to me. Most people don't touch the back of that, but rolling the back of my hand.
Carpal tunnel is
the
biggest thing.
So for me, I can already see myself even just during a game like that. To me, anything other than nothing is something is my quote. So we don't want to overthink of. This is not doing nothing, because that technically is not true. If we want to go down to the cellular, molecular, chemical level of like how our body works, that is doing something. Like my body is already red. They already sent red blood cells there to try to repair.
Trying to heal.
Yeah, so every little thing works. So so I would say first off is massaging of the hands. I think a lot of gamers don't have any way to promote like healthy like relaxation and lengthening of tissues, because everything is just like here.
Or click.
Anything. I mean, I think that. I mean, technically, you could be better if you warmed your hand up before the game. Technically, it would just be like if we went to warm up.
Professional gamers,
absolutely.
Yeah. They work their wrist.
Yeah, absolutely.
They work their finger.
So step one, I would already say the hands. I like the fact that it's already like this, that you could stretch out your hands on it. Like just doing that feels really good. That feels like most gamers. Yeah, remember it's chronic tightness.
Like, or static.
And remember, I have the sleep manual. And in my sleep manual, I make sure to have people understand when they're sleeping, they don't realize how curled their hands are. One of the positions in there is to
I don't even think about it. I think
it's to lengthen your hands. Like most people do not realize every position you're in, everything is curled.
I don't think of the hand.
You're gonna when you